Hello, good morning, welcome back to my channel. This is Louise from Louise's Lifestyle. This morning we're talking about how to grow Cherimoya, or custard apple, or atafal as it's known in Bangla, in the UK. I've got 3 Cherimoya plants to show you, and I'll flip the camera around and talk through what I've been doing to keep them alive. What kind of growing conditions that I'm looking at, in order for them to thrive, and how I got them growing in the first place. Here are my Cherimoyas. Started growing these about 3 years now that I've grown them from seed. So I've got these 2 here, and I've got this seedling that's about, I would say, maybe 7-8 months old. Grown from seed, all grown from seed, from a store-bought fruit got from the Asian grocers. Just needed a little bit of heat to get them germinated. I usually put them straight into a pot and then put the pot onto a heated surface like a radiator. If you've got a propagator will be fine. And then once they pop up, you can just take them out and keep them where I've been keeping them, on a sunny windowsill. Now they're not very tall. I have pruned these back because there was some dieback, and they do go dormant in the winter months, as in they will drop some leaves. They might look as though they've got no leaves at all. At one stage this had no leaves on it at all, but they do grow back. You don't need to feed and water too much during the winter. I don't feed at all during the winter months, and give them very little water. And in general, I'm using like a sort of a standard compost with perlite mix, and I give them some fertiliser during the growing months. Now I've just put the camera on a stand and then I can show you better. Right, so I've taken it out of the pot and just bring you in a little bit closer. You can see got nice healthy roots there, not huge roots, and this is common for Cherimoyas. They have shallow roots. What I read was that they have weak weak roots, and not very sort of like vigorous roots. So this is normal. This is probably why they don't require a lot of water. They're drought tolerant, but the roots generally, you know, they look nice and healthy. They're light in colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh the soil. I'm going to keep it in this size pot because it doesn't need to go any bigger than that. And then I'll show you what I'm going to put in the potting mix. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken the Cherimoya, completely took off, well, almost 99% of the soil that was on it, just left a little bit in there. The roots are nice and tidy and clean. The reason I've taken all the soil off, because when I emptied it out, you might not have noticed, but in the camera shot there was a little earwig dashed around, and after a little woodlouse appeared. So I thought I'd just take the soil outside, and I've put it in one of my troughs, use it in the garden outside, and leave the wildlife out there, not here. So I've brought some compost from B&Q. This is the purple bag. It's not got any peat in it, so there's no, I don't think there's any nutrients in this at all. It's just sort of a weird sort of substrate. Feels like soil. You can see it's quite sort of dark, but all these fluffy bits, I'm just wondering if this is I don't know what it is. Maybe wood shavings, wood chip. It doesn't feel like wood chip, but you know, paper maybe. Not quite sure. So I don't know if what level of nutrients are in this. So I'm going to have to add some of my own. So what I've got here, I've got some chicken manure. I'm not going to bring the whole tub to the camera, it's quite heavy. But poultry manure. I'm going to sprinkle a few pellets in there. And I've got some blood, fish and bone. I'm just using Vitax. You can get different brands. Natural, well balanced, all-purpose plant feed with added potash for riper fruit and veg, bigger, brighter flowers and healthier plants. So that's what I'm going to sprinkle in, a little bit of that, and then I'll do the same for the other cherimoya there, because most likely the nutrients that are in there have been exhausted. So I'll replicate what I'm doing here for that plant as well. And then this little guy I'll also repot and put in you know, a nice mixture with the fertiliser, the blood, fish and bone, poultry manure. Okay, so all three potted up now, and same pots, same size pots, but not the soil. Obviously it's fresh soil in there. Talking about pruning. In order to keep these into a nice shape, basically you're going to have to prune them. Use secateurs, but make sure that you clean them. I use some bleach, just spray the secateurs, or scissors. Use scissors again, spray them, wipe them down, and then use, you know, these to snip off. A, you can snip off all the dead growth, and B, to encourage it to be more of a bushy plant. So I'll give you an example. So compare these two. So this plant has got more sort of side growth, more bushiness to it, and this, they're both the same age. They're grown at exactly the same time, planted exactly the same time, came up the same time. So they are the same age, but this one has tended to sort of like put up this long, you know, sort of lanky growth, and I've actually had to cut it back. I'll just show you. So it's a lot taller. It's a lot taller than this one. What I need to do is I would like to make this into a lot more bushier plant than it is at the moment. So on this side there are no side branches. All the growth seems to be happening up here, which is fine. You know, I want it to grow. Obviously I want it to grow tall as well, but so I would like this side to be balanced with more branches. So if you look at the plant here, you've got a branch there, and you've got this branch here which is producing more branches there, but this side has nothing. So the aim is I will keep trimming this bit here. So this bit has nothing on it at the moment. It's alive, it's green. The growth there you can see is green. And what I'll do is I'll keep snipping away at this to stop all the root hormone that's travelling up the growth tip. And what it will do is the plant will try and put its energy into the lower part of the stem. So this area here, where these little bumps are where potentially you'll get more leaves. So I have more of a balanced shape to it, so it'll spread out like this. So and these top growth, the top growth there, when it starts to look like this, when that starts to look like that, I will pinch off the growing tip of that. So when it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, when there are say 5 leaves on this, I'll pinch off the top and continue to do that with all of these, so we end up with a nice sort of well balanced shaped cherimoya plant. Just put that to one side. So this is a good example of how you want your plant to look, sort of lots of branches, It's not as tall as that. Ideally, you know, I would like it to be as tall, but because it's spending its energy into these side branches, it looks better. It's got a better shape to it. And when these, once this has reached, say, so it's putting out a couple more leaves there, when it's reached, say, about that height, I'll pinch off the growth tips again. The same on this side, and the same for any side branches here. They get a little bit bigger, pinch them off, and keep, you know, sort of encouraging the bushiness of the plants. There was some die back here, so I've cut this branch here, which is fine. It's not, you know, nothing to worry about when you get a little bit of die back during the winter. These are tough plants. Some people say you can overwinter them outdoors. I haven't tried that, to be honest with you. I brought these inside in winter. I didn't want to risk, you know, after growing them from seed, then to lose them, you know, to a frost or to damp, because the cold and the damp also is not a friend of the Cherimoya. So although they are supposed to be cold hardy, I would say bring them indoors, you know, just before it starts to get frosty. So that's my take on Cherimoyas. I'm just going to give them a little bit of a water now, and I will do an update, say, in a month's time, just to show you what progress, if any, there is on them. So thank you for watching. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.